set up. I'm running a little late this morning. Here we go. Welcome. If you're new, subscribe. You'll love this channel, I promise you. If you're already sub, make sure you like the video. Welcome. There, it's just testing the audio. Absolutely. We got a lot to cover. I'm going to start with Vivek on CNN, who just cleaned their clock, which is a beautiful thing to watch, isn't it? Oops. I almost pulled down the whole monitor. Holy smokes. All right. We are good to go. All right. We have 40 seconds. Okay, time to get ready. Okay. All right. Yeah, we got a lot to cover. Okay, here we go.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
It sure is. Welcome, everyone. It is Friday, December 15th, 2023. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, celebrating 46 years. Oh, my goodness. 46 years on the radio. We got a lot to cover today. A lot has happened. And it's amazing how busy the news is. And you guys don't appreciate it as much as I do because I've been doing this so long. In December, it's like the 1 month of doing a live call-in radio show that typically is work because news usually has news blackouts in December. This is the busiest news December that I can remember, and it's like the show's effortless each morning for 3 hours because there's more news than we can get to. We're going to cover a lot. I'm going to start with Vivek Ramaswamy on CNN the other night at his Iowa town hall, which was amazing watching Vivek Ramaswamy fillet CNN, which is a deep state CNN psychops news network, is really what it is, and it probably always has been, but it certainly has been that for many, many years. And today is Friday. On Friday's program, it is Open Phones. We call it Open MAGA Mike Friday. And on Open MAGA Mike Friday, you're welcome to call in about anything and everything you have on your mind. You are not limited to the topics that Steve and I bring up on the program. Our number's toll-free, 1-888-GO-KANE-1. And I want to remind those that don't know, I know I do mention this from time to time, all of our calls are screenless. All right? When you call in, no one answers the phone. I just reach over and put you on hold, and we put you on the air live. Okay? So all the calls are screenless, and that means I have no idea who's on the line. I have no idea what they're going to talk about. I have no idea what their persuasion is on issues. And we're in a foxhole together. We'll just find out live on the air. Okay, so let me talk about Vivek Ramaswamy and the CNN town hall, and I'll play some of it. And when it got interesting was the part when they were talking about January 6th. And, January 6th, as time goes on, is going to end up being a forever conspiracy theory. And the reason that is, like JFK, and the reason that is because the fake news crafted a narrative. The Speaker of the House at the time, Nancy Pelosi, who's a crook, she should be more worried about what her husband's doing at night when she's not in California than she is MAGA and Trump. But maybe her obsession with Trump is why her husband winds up in all kinds of trouble all the time when she's not home late at night, always late night hours too with him. But, the thing about the January 6th that's going to make it a forever conspiracy is because Nancy Pelosi suppressed the videotapes for as long as she possibly could. They released just a handful of selectively edited surveillance video from the Capitol to paint a certain narrative. And that narrative, sadly, is what so far has not only become the narrative, it's close to becoming the historical narrative. Okay? And now Mike Johnson, who did some very terrible things in the last couple days in Congress, I'm not happy with Mike Johnson, and we may have to drop MAGA from his name. MAGA, Mike Johnson. We may have to drop MAGA and just call him Mike Johnson moving forward. But I don't want to get sidetracked on that. But he's released all the tapes, hundreds and hundreds of hours, and people will be combing through those for years. And when Mike Johnson released those January 6 tapes in their entirety, it's hundreds of Zapruder films in much better quality, right? The Zapruder film changed everything, didn't it? It turned wackadoodle conspiracy theorists and conspiracy nuts into credible experts on the Kennedy assassination, didn't it? Yeah. And that's what is this is what we're transitioning into now with the release of all these tapes. But CNN is the leader in fake news. They are considered the news source of record for the fake news corporate media. And they crafted a narrative of January 6th, and they'll stick with that until the day is long. And, I got a lot of problems with Ramaswamy. I'm not a Ramaswamy guy. I still believe that he is a Soros operative, and he's trying to, George Soros's people are trying to infiltrate the MAGA movement with Vivek Ramaswamy. I've not changed my opinion, okay, on that. I don't want anybody to think I'm all of a sudden all in with Ramaswamy. No, I'm not. But I will say he is one of the most skilled presidential candidates in history. One of. Not the, but he's very close, and he's very good. And he's at this town hall, and he just took the CNN anchorette. Remember Rush used to call the female anchors anchorettes? I like that. We should bring that back. He took the CNN anchorette down as she was trying to put together the fake news, uniparty, deep state, CNN fake news narrative of January 6th. After the first break, I'm going to play that exchange. Just the part on the January 6th, and it's very, very good. And what you see with the CNN anchor is her panic that she's dealing with someone who's articulate, highly skilled, able to make their points even when she's trying to steamroll them. And this has opened up a lot. And the significance of this town hall on CNN with Ramaswamy on this is that it happened on CNN. And, CNN viewers are a cult of Trump-hating, never-Trumper, Trump derangement syndrome people. When they're not watching CNN or MSNBC, they're listening to NPR, right? And for that crew of people to see Vivek Ramaswamy lay down the case of what really happened on January 6th, it's the first time they've heard it. You understand? I mean, to them, people that question the events of that day are just right-wing nuts and Alex Jones types to them. But Vivek Ramaswamy introduced to the CNN audience some new ideas and thoughts on January 6th that they've not yet been exposed to. And that's how you correct the false narrative that this deep state psyops parading as a cable news network, CNN, has presented on January 6th. So we'll take our break. We'll get into that audio exchange when we get back from the break. If you're on hold, stand by. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are listening. We'll take our first break and be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines.
I saw somebody in the chat at the beginning said, yes, we know it's Open Phones Friday. Not everybody knows, and not everybody listens all the time. Somebody may be listening that's new to the program. So not everybody knows that it's open phones. There are people that are new to the program. I don't know who said it, but I saw that that was in the chat as I was starting. Well, what Mike Johnson really did that pissed me off was he gave the extension to the Patriot Act, the FISA courts, which they used against Trump in the first campaign. And maybe that's what Paul Ryan was visiting him for, talking about as they walked down the stairs. What do you think I should do first? Take a call or two or play the audio with Vivek on CNN? Take a call or play the audio of Vivek on CNN? That's not to say that I'll do what the majority say. I'm just curious what you guys think I should do. Audio, okay. Audio, wow. Okay. Everyone says the audio. Well, no, Juan says take the call. Juan, are you on hold? Maybe Juan's on hold. Well, most everybody except Juan says audio, so I will play the audio first. All right. That's right. Take a call from Vivek. The phones are open. Vivek can call. It's toll free for Vivek, too. Everyone said audio except Juan. Are you on hold, Juan? Oh, a second call. Is that Joni or Johnny? It looks like Joni. Are you on hold, Joni? Oh, yes. This is the last commercial. We'll be back in 19 seconds. Here we go.
3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right. Welcome back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Call us on hold. Stand by. Well, today's Friday. Sunday. Don't forget Sunday at 2 p.m. Steve Kane and I will be at Wings Plus, the Sample Road location in Coral Springs. All right. The Sample Road location of Wings Plus. Sunday at 2. I'm getting interested in the Dolphins now because I saw that one of their star players just got married and he's got 2 paternity suits against him from women that have had babies this year. So now I'm getting interested in the drama. That's better than a Taylor Swift drama. But anyway, we're going to be there this Sunday at 2. You are all invited. This is our first appearance in like a year and a half, well over a year. We don't do these very often. You are all invited. Wings Plus is about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample. If you're coming from the north, Palm Beaches, Treasure Coast, or you're coming from the south, South Broward or Miami, you can take I-95 or the Turnpike, exit at Sample Road, and head west. You can also take the Sawgrass Expressway, I-75, and exit at Sample Road, and that way you'll head east. Wings Plus is still a mile west of University Drive, whichever way you come. Now, we'll be there rain or shine. You know, it rains. Hey, it's Florida. We're in the tropics. So we will be there, rain or shine, and you are invited. We'll have a great time. Okay, so let me play this audio. Call us on hold, stand by. So Vivek Ramaswamy, they've been doing a series of town halls this week, right? In Iowa, we had DeSantis, we had Nikki Haley, and we had Ramaswamy. And Ramaswamy, this portion is about January 6th. And CNN, you know, they're on a mission to declare MAGA a domestic hate group, terror group, whatever. and outlaw MAGA. They want to outlaw MAGA. That's why you hear, even from Hunter Biden in his ridiculous, arrogant speech in front of the Congress yesterday out on the street. That's where he's comfortable, Hunter Biden, on the street. That's where the hookers are, on the streets, right? That's right. But, yeah, it's true. And he even said MAGA Republicans. Did you hear that? MAGA Republicans. Yeah, see, there's Republicans, and then there's MAGA Republicans. And the establishment, uniparty Democrats, CNN, say the good conservatives are Republicans. Those evildoers, they're MAGA Republicans. So CNN's on a mission to brand MAGA Republicans, as they call us, as all these terrible things, so they can outlaw their very popular political opposition. And the main course of action they use is to promoting their narrative of January 6th. So here's the exchange. Vivek Ramaswamy with the CNN anchor. Her name's not important, but it's a good clash.
We come to January 6th. The reality is we know that there were federal law enforcement agents in that field. We don't know how many. I think it's a shame. If I may finish this answer.
Well, let me just. I'm going to go ahead and interrupt you here because you're saying that there were. You're saying that there were federal agents. You're saying that there were federal agents.
This is important to talk about.
You're saying there were federal agents in the pad on January 6th. There is no evidence that there were federal agents in.
Yeah, there is evidence, because every time they release video from January 6th. In fact, even Mike Johnson said just a couple days ago, they released hundreds of hours. There's more coming, but they have to blur out some of the faces because they got to blur out the faces of federal agents and others. But even the Democrats and Liz Cheney's Kangaroo Committee have said that we can't release everything because we'll be revealing undercover federal agents. We even had the FBI director in congressional testimony talking about federal agents in that crowd. All right? So that's proof enough to me. Is that proof enough for you?
You're saying that there were federal agents.
This is important to talk about.
On January 6th. There is no evidence that there were federal agents in the crowd on January 6th.
So why, before Congress, when pressed on what the number was, they didn't say there were none? They just couldn't say how many.
So you're saying that that you have not seen any evidence that there were, and so
we've seen multiple informants suggesting that there were. We know people were FBI informants who were asking.
Is there any evidence?
May I just finish this, and you can come back to the question?
Let me clarify.
I know it's very uncomfortable for you.
I'm going to clarify my question.
I know this is uncomfortable for many people, but we have to do the truth here.
I'm going to clarify my question because I want to make sure that you understand where I'm at.
I understand this deeply. I told you, I was there 3 years ago. I'm not there now.
Where is the evidence?
Okay, now there's a difference between interviewing and advocating, or debate. A town hall is not a debate between a candidate and a news anchor. It's an interview, and you let the person, when you hear me do interviews, when I interview people, it's different than when I'm debating a caller, right? And the interviews that I do, I ask questions, and then I let them say what it is they want to say and let them speak for themselves, right? That's how you do interviews. What she's doing is she's involved in a cover-up. She doesn't want anything out there that counters the fake news, CNN, deep state, psychops, news network narrative.
Where's the evidence that the government had applied an inside job prior to violence on January 6th?
I'm not going to let you put words in my mouth. I'm going to put my words in my mouth. And I'm going to tell you what I mean by that.
Where is the evidence that the government was involved in planning or executing January 6th?
So I'm going to give you hard facts. And if I may, Abby, I know this is going to be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to go through this, and you can push back on that. And you can push back on that. And let's do this fairly. Why did they suppress footage of now what's been released, 200 hours of footage of shooting rubber bullets into that crowd, shooting tear gas into that crowd? You didn't see that before. You saw what the response was to that. Now you see footage coming out of actually rolling out the red carpet for Capitol Police allowing people in.
Again,
right through the front door.
The vast majority of that footage should have been shown. Mr. Ramaswamy, the vast majority of the footage shows police officers being overrun by violent riders. That's the vast majority of the shows.
So here's what entrapment is.
You can't cherry pick.
I'm not cherry picking. If I may finish, Abby. If I may finish, Abby. I'm not cherry picking.
Examples.
To the contrary. To the contrary.
You don't cherry pick examples.
You don't cherry pick.
And say that is what happened.
The government cherry picked 12 hours of footage. When there was 200 hours of footage. Cherry picking was the government, not me. Release the whole thing. And let me just finish one thing too, because this is super important as a topic.
So when you,
I think this is a civil libertarian issue of our time.
When we were talking
First kidnapping. I want to be really clear on this, because it's the same issue in the same FBI, same even part of the FBI. 3 people who were in an alleged plot to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer were acquitted at the end of trial because it was entrapment. That is, government agents put them up to do something they otherwise wouldn't have done. They gave them credit cards with spending limits of up to $5,000, encouraged them to buy munitions, plan something they weren't otherwise willing to plan. So much so, and I want people at home to know this, especially CNN viewers to know this, is that one of the jurors went to those defendants and apologized afterwards, gave him a hug, apologized, seeing what the government had put a poor guy up to who had to go to some Mexican restaurant across the street to get hot water. These people were exploited with credit cards up to $5,000, FBI agents, putting them up to a kidnapping plot that we were told was true but was entrapment. Same thing with the Capitol Police. People letting them freely. Many of those people then being charged. The government cannot put you up to do something and then charge you for it. That's wrong.
Yeah, I don't want to have to get information out. Okay, now, did you hear what Ramaswamy said? I want this out especially for the CNN audience. That's what I was telling you at the beginning of this segment. See, the people that watch CNN have never heard this about the Gretchen Whitmer incident. You know it, I know it, but the CNN viewers don't. And I imagine that even CNN viewers watch these things like I do. I'm never far from my iPhone. And if I hear something like that and I never heard about it, I pick up my iPhone and I Google it. And then all of a sudden I'm exposed to, what? What? I never knew this about the Gretchen Whitmer incident. What? They were entrapped by the FBI. Don't you understand? What he did last night was amazing. Amazing. Even though I don't support Vivek Ramaswamy, that was brilliant. It was very productive, and he did a great service to this great country on that CNN town hall night before last. If you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our bottom of the hour break. After the break, we will go to the calls. Now, again, it is open phones. You do not have to talk about what I'm talking about. You don't even have to comment on this, although I would like you to. I think it's interesting, or I wouldn't bring it up, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But you are on Open MAGA Mike Friday. Welcome to call in about any and everything on your mind on Friday's program. It's the Steve Kane Show. My name is Brian Craig. Our number 1-888-GO-KANE-1. 888-465-2631. Back after this.
Making morning radio great again. You're gonna really love it. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Wow. That was, the thumbnail here on YouTube, it says Vivek Epic CNN Takedown. That's what that was. That was amazing. Yeah. His talent is not in holding a government position. Vivek's talent is in media messaging. That's his talent. Because, Stu, that helps him. That just made Vivek Ramaswamy, who I've not said much good about at all, I'm praising him. Makes it easier for him to make his way into the MAGA circle. But his role should not be a government position. It should be messaging. He's a great spokesperson. He's like Ann Coulter used to be back in the 90s and 2000s. Yeah. Maybe press secretary, D. He would be a very good press secretary, no doubt about it. I think that was beautiful. I mean, you got to understand, those of you in this chat room, you know all that. But the CNN viewers have never heard that about Gretchen Whitmer. Never. Most of them have. Very few have. And those few that have discounted it. Now they're researching it. They're reading up on it. They're listening to people talk about it, and they're like, wow. It's more than just speaking truth. You've got to have a certain skill set, which he has. That's something you're born with. Vivek is retired. He's a billionaire. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. This is where MAGA comes to talk right here. No, he would be better. He's better with media messaging than holding a cabinet position. That's a waste of his skill set. His skill set is messaging. That's very important. Come on. My internet's not working too well here today. If you're on hold, hang in there. I'm going to take the calls in the order in which they were received the best I can. Sometimes I lose track. And guys, make sure you click the notification bell so you can catch my weekend live streams and my podcast that I upload here. All right, callers on hold, stand by. That was amazing. I'm going to go to the phones. I'm going to take the calls the best I can in the order in which they were received. All right, our number 1-888-GO-KANE 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, it's Louis from Shreveport, Louisiana.
Hey, Louis.
I just wanted to call and let you know that your concern about Speaker Johnson, I think, is well-founded, but it's misplaced at the same time. This is not another Kevin McCarthy. Speaker Johnson will never be another Kevin McCarthy. He is as conservative and as Trump-supporting as any conservative in this country.
Yeah, but he did two things this week. One of them he absolutely did not have to do. He did two. I'm not dropping him. I'm just got my eye on him, Mike Johnson. Okay, and the two things he did this week that are very, very troublesome. One, he just extended the Patriot Act, which is bad news. They call it something else now, but he extended the Patriot Act, and then he's buddy with Paul Ryan. So those two things. I mean, those are two bad things.
Well, talking to Paul Ryan and certainly being amenable to having discussions with different folks.
Why would you? No, what is? No, it's not. Paul Ryan is a terrible, terrible man. He's on the board of directors at Fox. He is the reason that Fox has a embargo on carrying Trump rallies and has for years and speeches. And he's a minion of Mitt Romney. And the visual of Mike Johnson walking down the staircase after a private meeting in his speaker's office with Paul Ryan, that ticks people off. And I think there's good reason for it to tick us off.
Well, Speaker Johnson has never been a quote-unquote flamethrower, so to speak. And he is going to work with folks.
Wait a minute. What is he working on with Paul Ryan? Paul Ryan's not even in government. He's an executive with Fox News.
Well, certainly, but we have absolutely no idea what the context of that conversation was. Speaker or former Speaker Ryan may have simply been.
You're so let me ask you. You're so respectful with these titles, former speaker, speaker. You sound like some establishment Republican guy. Speaker, former speaker. The way you're too respectful to Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan's a snake. Okay, he just said 2 days ago that Trump's a dictator. Okay, a delusional dictator, and he's praising Liz Cheney in the same sentence.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. All I'm trying to say to you is it is possible to disagree. It is possible to lead. And it is possible to stand on your principles while at the same time being respectful. And I think that Speaker Johnson, and yes, I do call him Speaker Johnson. Speaker Johnson is my representative in Congress.
Well, good. You're lucky. You're lucky. Okay, I thought, do I have a good ear? Okay, I got it out of you. Okay, I like Mike Johnson a lot. I got a lot of respect for him. And we have a lot in common. My dad's a disabled firefighter who was injured in a fire too. I got a lot in common with Mike Johnson. I like him. But the imagery of him with Paul Ryan is disturbing to a lot of conservative MAGA people. Now, this thing with the Patriot Act, I understand we don't have the White House, we don't have the Senate, so he's using some of these things to get other things done, okay? Like they'll be funding Ukraine in exchange for border security. I get that. But the Patriot Act is what they used against Donald Trump to get FISA warrant wiretaps on Trump Tower during the first campaign. And Paul Ryan, everybody hates Paul Ryan. And those two things, one day after the other, has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Understood. But to know Speaker Johnson is to not be concerned about those optics. He's your local congressman, so you have a longer relationship than MAGA America have. He's new to most of us. And if I were, I give an example. So he's got to, show us what he's like. If I were an advisor to Mike Johnson and Paul Ryan wanted to come for a visit, I would say, no way. They get a picture of you. The way I describe that picture of him walking down that staircase with Paul Ryan out of his ceremonial speaker's office is like when this is how I described it yesterday. It's like when Chris Christie when Chris Christie hugged Obama on the beach. Okay, it was almost like that. And if I were his advisor, I would say, no way. The image of you two together in a photograph would be very damaging. People would begin not to trust you. That would be my advice to him. So and our elected officials, when you're looking for presidents, and a Speaker of the House is close to being president, one of the things that you want from someone like that is someone who's not just a MAGA conservative, but someone who exercises
very good judgment. And the Patriot Act extension and the Paul Ryan moment, those are examples of bad judgment.
Well, I'll just respectfully disagree. Mike is a very kind man, and I think should someone stop by and want to pay a visit to him in the ceremonial office, he's going to receive them. And that.
Oh, really? So really? Yeah, really? So if I showed up and knocked on the door, he'd receive me today?
Well, I probably not.
Well, really? I thought you said if someone knocks, he'll receive them.
Well, to some extent, obviously, Paul Ryan is the former Speaker of the House. It makes it a little different than if you or I stopped by there announced.
Okay.
Again, we don't know the context and whether or not it was an appointment.
I don't care. I agree. Listen. This is the thing. I like him. He's released the tapes. He's done a lot of what he promised to do already. But these two things, the Patriot Act should be gone. And no meetings with Paul Ryan. Okay? Unless Paul Ryan comes out of that meeting telling us he's going to start carrying the Trump rallies on Fox. Okay? That's different. I appreciate the call. Take care. Yeah, good call. See, didn't I tell you that he had some connection to Mike Johnson? I've been doing this for a long time, guys. I got a good ear. Isn't that amazing? Screenless call, and I could tell by the way he was talking. I used to be, when I was younger, opposed to racial profiling by police officers of suspects. And then I realized after doing this and talking to callers how much I can tell from a caller on just a couple of words from them. And profiles are not, when you profile someone, it's not 100% accurate, but I think I'm accurate about 98, 99% of the time with callers, And that's when I realized, well, I'm doing that. And police officers have a skill set, and profiling, there's a lot of things that go into a profile other than skin color. But profiling is effective. It works. And if you're experienced, profiling can be incredibly accurate, while not 100% foolproof. Can be incredibly accurate, like it was with that caller. I knew when I heard Speaker John, and what the real tip-off is when he said former Speaker Ryan, and every time he said Mike Johnson, it was Speaker Ryan, or Speaker Johnson. It was just a big tip-off. All right, well, so things are starting off very well today, much better than last Friday's Open Phone Friday. I must tell you, that show was an embarrassment. Is that up on the website at TwoOldiesFLA.com? Oh my goodness, that show is an embarrassment. I've had worse shows. But that was a bad one. All right, our number's toll free 1-888-GO-CANE-1, 888-465-2631. You're welcome to call in about Ramaswamy. After the next break, though, I want to get into some other stuff. There is a lot of panic going on over Donald Trump because they know he's going to win re-election. He is unstoppable. In fact, yesterday I had that story that for the first time ever, President Trump is leading Joe Biden in every one of the battleground states. And I got a clip from MSNBC yesterday. They are in a panic beyond description. I'm going to play this for you after the break. But it's interesting how you see these Trump haters accepting his second term. Why do you think the judge in the J6 case in D.C., Chutkan, the Obama-appointed judge, she was Hunter's boss at the law firm, okay, where Burisma was a client, so she's taking Burisma money. She's a partner. Burisma was a client. That means she got money from Burisma. She's paused the case. And I know a lot of, PJ had this yesterday, a lot of these pundits are saying, well, this is a quite common occurrence. I've never heard of it before. In a high-profile case like this, Chutkan and Jack Smith, they know Trump's coming back for a second term. They are in a panic. They want to end this. They're desperate. They're hoping the Supreme Court will come in and stop the trial because they don't want anything to do with it anymore. And because they know Trump's coming back, and they've been doing a lot of dirty business, a lot of law breaking. So they're trying to get out of it. So the Democrats, the left, are in a complete panic. We'll get into that from MSNBC when we get back. And there's a whole bunch more we're going to cover as well. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. Back after this.
The cold, hard truth.
Hmm. Hmm. All right. You know, I heard the commercial, one of our listeners talking about the great relief of pain that he received when he went to have his laser away pain treatment with Dr. Appleton, and man, that guy's excited. And I'm that excited too. When you are living with pain, it's just awful. The pains that I've had, it's not just that they hurt. But it just takes the energy out of you. You just want to sleep. You can't function. You can't move. It's awful. And then Dr. Appleton, with his laser away pain treatment, rids you of pain, fixes the problem, because it repairs the injury, repairs what's going on. It's not like pain medications. Those just mask the pain. The laser away pain treatment actually treats the injury or whatever's causing the pain, and it gives you your life back. The things I've done, since Dr. Appleton has rid me of pain in my knee, my shoulder, my arthritis, it goes on and on. 5 times he's rid me of pain. I've gotten so much done around my house. Gotten my house painted. I've gotten done landscaping. I got some last week planted fruit trees. I'm taking care of those. It's amazing. I wouldn't be able to do any of this stuff without Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain treatment. Appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays. Okay, give him a call, and when you call Dr. Appleton, make sure you mention you heard about him on True Oldies so you can take advantage of the no-charge consultation. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And if you missed the number, just go to his website. You'll get the number there, AppletonChiro.com. All right? Okay, back to our phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
How you doing this morning, Big C?
Big C. Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, that's right.
Hey, I wanted to ask you something. You know why Michelle Obama has been hidden, hasn't been out? I think they're going to run her against Trump. I think they're going to play Biden, get him out the way, and run her and Newsom. I think they're training her right now and getting her out.
Well, Michelle's got some problems. A Freedom of Information Act request has revealed a lot of information that we did not know about the chef drowning at the Obama's house. And I don't know how familiar you are with this. We got the last name of the other person that was with the chef, and it was a woman. Okay? Now listen to this. Did you hear what happened when the police questioned this woman? Okay, so I'm talking about the Obama chef drowning, for those that don't know. So the police interviewed the woman that was with him in Barack Obama's private office in their mansion, and Obama was in the office with her and the police during the interview. That is very unusual and incredibly scandalous. Why was he there?
Out of town.
Yeah, well, Michelle was out of town, but this woman, why was Obama there? Obama was there to intimidate her, to make sure that she didn't share something with the police that he didn't want shared. What that is, or maybe he's got, well, maybe, or maybe he's got a relationship with her. Who knows? But he was in there to stop her from revealing, to intimidate her from revealing something to the police, is what I take from that. So they've got and Michelle knows everything. So they've got an internal family scandal that can be incredibly distracting for her. That would cause her not to be able to run.
Okay, Big C, but I'm from Chicago. I know.
I appreciate the street. I appreciate the street name, but Big C, guys that call themselves big usually are small in certain parts of their body. So I don't like the nickname too much. BC, I've been called BC. Sometimes you know what a lot of listeners call me? Mother, and there's another word after you can't use. Well, the F word with it too. I get that a lot too. But the big, I don't care for the big. DeSantis would probably like it because it would make people think he wasn't a dwarf. But anyway, yeah, finish up.
Yeah, but I was just saying, I just think that they're going to run her. Most definitely they're going to run her. But what you're saying, it might not. But
oh yeah,
looking like this, they were going to run her.
There is.
She did a lot of interviews, but she hasn't done anything. Any interview.
But you know what, though? You know what? Michelle Obama hasn't done anything in her life. She's never had a real job. She's never had to show up somewhere. That was a fake job. That was a fake job. She had a job with the hospital district in Chicago. Her boss was Valerie Jarrett. That's one of those fake jobs you don't have to show up to.
Yeah. Hey, that's all. Hey, but it's nice talking to you.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the call. Yeah, great call. Nice guy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
PJ from Broward.
Hey, PJ.
Yeah, this Abby Phillip, she has a history of not being able to handle divergent opinions.
Oh, this is the CNN. Hold on. Abby Phillips is the CNN anchor that was with Ramaswamy at the town hall. Yeah, I'm telling people who she is, PJ. You can't hear me? You should be able to hear me. The last call. You can't hear me, PJ? All right, PJ can't hear me. He'll call back. He'll figure it out. I think he's got the phone on mute. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris from Kentucky.
Hey, Kentucky. What's up?
I've been watching your chat, and I've been watching some people say that if Trump goes to jail, that they're going to vote.
Okay, no. We're not going to. See, didn't I tell you? Kentucky. The seminar callers, they're most often from Kentucky. Can somebody tell the DNC that we're on to the Kentucky seminar caller? Oh, my goodness. Why are they always from Kentucky? Why is that the false identity that they give to the seminar callers? Because you know what comes next after that. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian, it's Lisa in Texas.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, listen, that guy that called from Louisiana, I just want to say a lot of people don't understand that when you say what you say about Mike Johnson, you're using discernment. You're not judging and condemning him. You're just using discernment. I mean, we need to have discernment with these politicians because they have, lied their way into our lives and made us and conned us for obviously years, right? So, you're not condemning Mike Johnson. I didn't get that at all. I got that you're just, trying to be, discern.
You're right. There are three people, I'm going to tell you the names. There are three people in politics that I trust without question, and only three. Donald Trump, Eric Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. I don't trust that. Those are the only three political people that I trust 100% all of the time and will never question.
Right, and we need to be that way. That's how I saw that conversation, and I just wanted to speak up about that. And as far as like the woman at the CNN thing, they're wearing earpieces and they're being told to interrupt, stopping, interrupt. These people are programmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being told what to say, stopping. That's why she kept interrupting him. Somebody's in her ear saying, "Shut him up,"
Yeah. Yeah.
So, people have to remember that is just, like you say, government owned, basically.
We Steve and I were at another radio station we did the show at, and they had a setup like that where the program director and it could go in the control room and talk to you in your headphones, and they would tell you to change the topic or stuff like this. And I disconnected that feature in the control board, and they never knew it. And they would be talking. It got me in trouble too. But it's called a talkback. And a lot of boards, we don't have it here, but a lot of boards, it's a button you push, and you can talk into the microphone, and it doesn't go out on the air. But the people in the control room in the studio can have conversations that don't go out on the air. It's a talkback button. And that's what you're right about what they do on television. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's kind of sickening, really. But hey, listen, I hadn't called in a long time, and that just.
All right. Well, you make a good point. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Chris from Kentucky. Do we get cut off?
No. Yeah. Just like now. Yes. There we go. Yes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
PJ, I'm back again.
All right. I think you had me muted, PJ. Hey, did you get to buy any gas from my skimmed card in Broward the other day?
Oh yeah. I filled up my tank.
Great. A lot of people did because it got up to over $900 before I got off the air. I know.
By the way, was the manager the same guy as the Wawa man?
No, it wasn't. And luckily, it was a credit card, not my debit card. I don't use my bank debit card at gas stations very often. I use credit card because of the skimming. So I got lucky. It was a credit card that got skimmed. So it didn't take money out of my account. But I'm glad I could buy you the gas. Thank you. You're welcome.
Okay, you're welcome. Well, it's not too bad you shut it down. I was going to use it to buy a meal at Wings Plus.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, Zammy Phillip, I just want you to know something. It's pretty funny. When she's the host, she used to be the host of CNN Inside Politics on Sundays.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she was like living at that time. The whole time she was there for over 2 years. She was like inside this comfortable liberal bubble where she was never questioned. So anyway, I got her. I got her in big trouble with her boss. I'll send you the link.
Really? We have 20 seconds. 20 seconds.
He said don't use big lie, and shortly after that, she said the big lie about it.
Wow. And then what happened?
They switched her with Manu Rush.
Oh, is And then Manu Raji. That sounds like a disease, that kissing disease. All right, PJ, I'll see you Sunday at Wings Plus, 2 p.m., Coral Springs, Sample Road location. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back right after the top of the hour break.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media.
Where are my glasses? I'm looking for my reading glasses. Here they are. They're in my pocket.
Where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day is off to an awesome start. We have gusting winds up to 40 miles an hour already this morning, so it's going to be quite blustery again today. Impact weather, widespread scattered rains, mainly light today, but some heavy, strong downpours tomorrow and a chance of storms. I'm WPBF 25 First Morning meteorologist Sandra Shaw. Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture, Route 1 Seminole Position. Palm Beach Patio Furniture, voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Here we go.
Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, hour number 2 has begun on this Open MAGA Mic Friday. Open phones, anything and everything on your mind is fair game. I'll take some calls before I bring up some new stuff, but I got a lot to cover. Oh, boy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Cassandra. Doug.
Hey, Doug.
Firstly, I'll see you on Sunday.
Cool.
Alan Dershowitz came out and said that to have a gag order is to protect the jury. But the appeals court, the appellate division in New York, turned around and said that it's okay to have this gag order on President Trump. There's no jury. Who are they protecting? This judge has already got his decision made already.
Yeah.
He doesn't want anybody to. So really, New York is really so corrupt. It's really amazing that.
You know, New York, when it comes to politics, New York has always been corrupt. That's where Tammany Hall was. So, you know, those of you that don't know Tammany Hall, read up on it. It will scare the living daylights out of you. But New York has always been corrupt.
Yeah, you know, and it's really amazing to see that MAGA people will give credit when credit's due. Democrats will.
You know, the Democrats, I'll just tell you, you know, Tammany Hall was the Democrat party boss, you know, Boss Tweed, all you guys look up. The Democrats, they had their own fire department in New York City. And they would start fires and then go put them out and then get credit. That's how Hamas operates. Hamas, they build hospitals and schools in the Palestinian areas, right? You know, that's why you hear them sometimes, oh, Hamas, they're a charitable humanitarian organization. They're like the Red Cross. Give me a break.
Yeah, really. Okay. Well, I was bringing out that Democrats would never give President Trump or any Republican credit. Meanwhile, we're giving credit. I think Ramaswamy, town hall, was fantastic. You know, I don't like that guy, but certainly what he did yesterday was.
It was night before last. It was night before last. I just didn't get to it yesterday because we had a lot of other things going on. But he did a great job. Yeah, I don't support Ramaswamy, and I'm very cautious of him, man. Let me tell you. But I got to give the devil his due. That was brilliant on CNN. He filleted her.
Without a doubt, Democrats would never give credit, but we would. So there's a difference between Democrats are dishonest, liars, and evil.
Yeah. So you're gonna be at Wings Plus on Sunday. You were with us. You were there at our appearance at the festival flea market when they called the police and they had men with guns remove us. You were there.
I was there, man. I was watching close. I was wondering if they were going to get violent. So.
It was great. Was that nuts? That was, I made a YouTube video about this. If you go to my Brian Craig Show on YouTube, it's on my YouTube channel. And we had a lot of people there, and they're wearing Trump shirts and MAGA hats. And the manager of the mall, who had a gun under his shirt, had a pistol under his shirt, had an armed security guard, called the police on me and Steve, and got in our face and everything. He was scary. He has a prison mustache. He has one of those prison stashes, like like a porn star in the 70s. And he was creepy.
Yeah, I was wondering why they were being so
Trump derangement syndrome.
Yeah, there you go. That's it, man. And to have guns and.
We brought hundreds of customers to a dead mall, and the management called the police on us and said and kicked us out and threatened us with trespass. It made me suspect. I mean, why? It probably still is if it's there. It's a dead mall, right? It was a dead mall.
Dead mall. And now I heard that the whole reason it was dead was because they were selling it. Now they're not selling it, so they destroyed themselves.
I don't know how they're in business when they call the police on customers. I never seen anything like it. It was hilarious. And the guy is, when you watch the video, my YouTube video, okay, Steve and I are talking to this listener. The guy comes up to us. The listener, he jumps back. The guy was so scary. The listener just jumps back and backs off. He's scared of the guy before he even talked. And it was, but we stood our ground the best we could. But when they called and I got out of there before Steve. When Steve left, 6 deputies pulled up.
Steve,
yeah, you were there. That was crazy. So Now, we're not going to have those problems at Wings Plus because Wings Plus, the Sample Road location in Coral Springs, it's very good conservative people over there, and they, and it's a great place, and we won't have those problems. But you never know what's going to happen at one of our appearances. Some of them get weird. There's some strange folk that come to some of them. All right, I'll see you Sunday at Wings Plus, Doug. Take care. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Hank from Hollywood.
Hey, Hank.
Hey, how you doing?
All right.
This call is actually for all the listeners of the Brian Kane Show.
The Brian Kane Show. Oh, my goodness. Trying to get me fired by Steve? The Steve Kane Show.
Morning. First thing in the morning, I'm heading to work.
Yes.
People, the sponsors for this show are for real. A few years back, I went to Dr. Gupta because of Richie's commercial. Richie cut a good commercial. He was on the bus at New York. It was Gupta. Right. It was a great commercial. I figured he can go 139 miles. I can go 3. But this shot out is to Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. I sent my daughter. She's only 18. I sent her out to him a couple days ago. He did great. Gave us great prices on 2 new tires. Probably it was less than 140 for 2 brand new tires. And I was, you're a little nervous when you either send your daughter or your wife to one of these mechanics or car places because, there are women and they see a mark. Friendly Tire, not Friendly Mike. Mike was dead on, great guy. Thank you, Mike. I just want to say thank you for taking care of my little girl. Open Phone Friday, this is just for Dougie Fresh out there, conservative Doug. You guys play paddleball, you and Juan.
Pickleball. They play pickleball.
No, they play paddleball.
Oh, okay.
I play paddleball down in Hollywood Beach. We play Hollywood style with the tennis ball. I'm sure Doug and Juan, they play with I call it little bouncy ball, little Yankee ball. We got a bunch of Yankees that come down there and play with that ball, but you guys come visit us down at Hollywood Beach, play real paddleball with the tennis ball. And that's it. I just want to thank you, Brian. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, you're more likely to find conservative Doug not at Hollywood Beach, but Hollover Beach, I think.
Well, that's my range.
That's mine, too.
When I was in high school, since I grew up.
Oh, my goodness.
But not now.
Yeah. All right. Take care. That's an inside joke. And Hollover Beach is the nude beach. In North Miami, it's the nude beach, which I've never been to. Yeah, let me give out the number for Friendly Mike. Friendly Tire. What else do I need to say, right? Send his 18-year-old daughter in, and he's pretty. That's amazing. You can give him a call. Now, remember, when Mike gives you a quote over the phone, that's out the door and on the road. He doesn't charge you to mount the tire, balance the tire, dispose of your old tires. Doesn't charge you anything. But the price he quotes you for your tires over the phone is out the door and on the road. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. That's Friendly Tire in Margate. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. This is Barbara calling you from Baltimore.
Hey, Barbara.
And, I just turned the radio on about 30 minutes ago, okay?
Oh, you missed a lot.
I know I did. I got to go back and listen to the podcast later. But anyway, I'm very upset about something. Well, one thing I did hear on the show that I wanted to address right out of the bat is Michelle Obama is not going to, they're not going to dust off the mothballs and bring her out to run against Donald Trump. And a part of the reason for that, at least I think so, not that she's Big Mike or anything, I'm going to stay away from that, but she's a Marxist and she's very racist.
Oh, yes.
She is racist. And, Bernadine Dorn and Bill Ayers brought that Marxism and what's happening right now in the schools and what's happening in a lot of these cities. I'm referring directly to Michelle Wu. Michelle Wu up there in Boston having blacks only, taxpayer-funded
electeds of color holiday party.
It's outrageous.
First of all, it's illegal. By the way, it's illegal. It's a violation of the civil rights laws and of the anti-segregation laws. What she did is illegal. But I'll get to her in a bit. I want to talk about Michelle Obama. A couple things that people don't know about Michelle Obama. 2 things in particular. She has 2 very troubling female connections. The first, you know who her best friend was in high school?
No, who was her best friend? If you had any.
Oh yeah, this is true. Her best friend in high school was Jesse Jackson's daughter. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's one. So that tells you how hooked up she is. Okay, you know, I mean, she's one of these like these Liz Cheney political family kind of things. But after she was married with Barack, she was in a women's group at Reverend Jeremiah's church, and there's photographic proof of what I'm about to share with you. There was a very controversial woman. You may know about this because you know about Michelle, but Michelle Obama was in a women's group at Reverend Jeremiah Wright's church in Chicago, and there was the wife of another very famous black man in that group. Do you know who it was?
No.
The wife of the minister, Louis Farrakhan.
Oh, yes. They had a party.
Yeah.
Farrakhan hosted Barack Obama coming into politics. He was one of those people that had a party that lived in the same neighborhood.
That's right. And this woman's group with Michelle and Farrakhan's wife was like 8 to 10 women. So I mean, she's got some very shady, scary, frightening connections.
Racist.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Has racist connections, and I tell you one thing: they will not trot her out there again.
No.
Because first of all, Donald Trump is not going to have mercy on her because she's a black woman. He's going to call it like it is, which is exactly what he should do. But bringing it back to just the racism, what they did, what Barack Obama and Michelle Obama did, is still prevalent right now in these schools. We saw it on display in D.C.
That's right.
Those deans. These people are dangerous to this country, and everybody better realize it. And I think I'm so glad the Jews are waking up. Sorry for what it's taken to get to this point. But we have got to get these people. We got to get rid of them.
Yeah.
Every politician, in my opinion, should be running on school choice from kindergarten.
Yep. Now listen, I gotta run for the break, but great call, and it gave us an opportunity to highlight some things about Michelle Obama's background and connections that people know. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to see him today, so if you text that to me, I'll play it for him today. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to see him this morning, yeah. I'm with you, Donna Foster, but that was a good exchange nonetheless.
back to the Steve Kane Show. Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at TrueOldiesFLA.com.
All right, welcome back, one and all. 21 minutes after the hour. It's Friday, December 15th. My name is Brian Craig. Open phones always on Friday. Open MAGA Mike Friday at 1-888-GO-CANE-1. And don't forget, there's still time to do your Christmas shopping at MyPillow.com, and you can save up to 80% off the products at MyPillow.com. You can use our promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, on any of the specials at MyPillow.com. You know, they got a whole bunch of new Bible story throw blankets that are great for the kids and grandkids, huge discounts. And I was just checking because I want to get a new one for someone. My daughter, she just got a new cat, and I want to get her one of the MyPillow pet beds. You know, just $19.99 for the MyPillow pet beds. I have 2 of these at home. They're great with the promo code KANE. But there's so many other great deals there, so there's still time. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879, promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout. All right, so Jen Psaki over on MSNBC, she had some lunatic Trump derangement syndrome guest on. They're talking about what Donald Trump can do as president in his second term, and they're trying to terrify their audience. And this one is really, this is a beaut. You know, Jen Psaki, so she's guilty of cultural appropriation. Her first and last name after 2 different types of liquor, Jen and Psaki. She's culturally appropriating Japanese culture with that last name. And Jen Psaki, always to me, it doesn't sound like the name of a network anchor, a political television hostess, or a White House press spokesperson. Jen Psaki, that sounds like one of the names of one of Hunter's hookers or a stripper or something. But anyway, Jen Psaki has this liberal loon on talking about, you know, I'll play this for you. The presidency has powers that the American people are not aware of, and Jen Psaki and this loon, his name's not important, Jen Psaki and this loon guest she has on are concerned about the unknown presidential powers that Donald Trump will use in his second term, and this is a warning to the MSNBC viewer. Notice I said that singular, not plural, viewer.
The possibilities are almost limitless, and I spent nearly 2 years asking that question to people, and I wrote it in this book, Blowback, but to try to paint that picture, to try to understand what he would actually do by talking to all of my former colleagues at different departments and agencies under Trump and asking them that question. What will happen in a second term? The biggest concerns for me are on the national security side. I think Americans still don't understand the full extent of the president's powers and things Donald Trump could do, bubble wrapped in legalese, that would be damaging to the republic. And one of those that I've noted is there's something in the White House called the Doomsday Book. And for the first time, DHS gave authorization for me to mention this publicly.
Okay. Now, before I play the rest of this, for the first time, the Department of Homeland Security has given this lunatic permission to publicly speak about the White House Doomsday Book of doomsday presidential powers. You know what this reminds me of? One of my favorite movies, and I know a lot of guys in the audience that are my age will know this movie, Megaforce. Anybody remember Megaforce? Oh my goodness, I love Megaforce. It's got Michael Beck from the Warriors in it. Yeah, he plays Tex, and it's got Barry Bostwick in it, and Pierces Kambata. And, some other people. But it's a great movie about this private government military group, right? Remember this? Megaforce. And it was written and directed by a stuntman who was Burt Reynolds' best friend and lived with Burt Reynolds at the time. Megaforce, great movie. And they had all these flying motorcycles and lasers and all these new weapons, and they were like the Delta Force, but they had all this cool tech. And when that movie came out, I was a kid, they had interviews with some of the actors and the director and such, and they were saying that actually the equipment in Megaforce is top secret government equipment that we had to get permission from the Pentagon to put in the film. Remember that? I'll tell you also what it reminds me of. Back to the Future 2. Everybody knows Back to the Future 2. Remember Marty McFly? He had the hoverboard skateboard in that one. In the first one, he had the skateboard. Oh, you know, when I went to Los Angeles, by the way, I went to the mall parking lot that Back to the Future was filmed at. It was pretty cool, pretty cool. And I was looking for it. My daughter, She set me up good because I'm like, I don't know, I got to see where the movie is. You know, is where in the, and she said, Dad, look up. And she knew the spot, and she parked the car where the DeLorean was. Oh, my goodness. But anyway, and Back to the Future 2, when they had those hoverboards, right? In Back to the Future 2, I remember watching the directors and producers on interviews saying that these are real things that exist, but the government has outlawed them in the United States because hoverboards are so dangerous. So that's how this is. And it gives credibility and fun to, you know, to these movies, but this is MSNBC, okay? So let me go back. Hold on if you're on hold. We're way late on our break, but I'm going to get through this anyway.
The biggest concerns for me are on the national security side. I think Americans still don't understand the full extent of the president's powers and things Donald Trump could do, bubble wrapped in legalese, that would be damaging to the republic. And one of those that I've noted is there's something in the White House called the Doomsday Book. And for the first time, DHS gave authorization for me to mention this publicly. And the fact that there are concerns that that book, which is supposed to be used to protect the country in instances of armed foreign invasion or rebellion, it's the president's most extraordinary powers, could be picked up by Trump and used for domestic political purposes. He could invoke powers we've never heard a president of the United States invoke, potentially to shut down companies or turn off the internet.
Okay, so Donald Trump's going to get out the Doomsday Book. He's going to shut down companies. First off, he's a private businessman. Why would he do that? He wants to put, and he's going to shut down the internet. His primary source of communicating his message is through the internet.
Potentially to shut down companies or turn off the internet or deploy the U.S. military on U.S. soil. We don't know because, you know, the things that are in there, the emergency powers of the president, aren't widely known to the American people. So that's a big worry for people like me and others about what he could do. But that weaponization of the government could extend across the interagency to places where we haven't seen it before. The Department of Education, the Department of Veterans Affairs, ways to wield that power and those budgets to help his allies and to hurt his enemies. And to be clear, those aren't just elites. To Donald Trump, his enemies include people who live in blue states. I remember him not wanting to deliver emergency aid to blue states because he didn't like them, because they didn't like him.
I mean, Miles, the Doomsday Book, I think it's safe to say we don't want in Donald Trump's hands.
He had it in his hands before and he didn't use it, if it exists. Oh my goodness. It's very concerning to people like me, he says. Yeah, lunatic paranoids in mental institutions. The Doomsday Book. And you know what's crazy about that stupidity of that whole conversation? Jen Psaki worked for two presidents, Obama and Biden, and at MSNBC, this seems perfectly plausible, perfectly sane, perfectly credible. And of course, to the rest of us, it is what it is, just complete lunacy. All right, we'll take our break and be back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
The Doomsday Book. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Okay. Yeah, the Twin Pines Mall. I was there. It was really cool. It looks the same, the Twin Pines Mall. It looks the same. It's pretty cool. It was smaller than I was expecting, but yeah, I pulled up the movie on Netflix on my phone when we were there. It was really cool. Anybody remember Megaforce? I love that movie. Megaforce. I can't be the only guy that remembers Megaforce. That's a great movie. My favorite image of Jen Psaki is when That's correct. Point to Hills Mall. That's right. My favorite photograph of her in video is when President-elect Trump went to the White House when Obama was still president, and she was one of those ones with the sad face. It was hilarious. William, thank you so much. Have some already used the Doomsday Book? Yeah, really. Do you think the Doomsday Book really exists? You break. The Doomsday Book. That sounds like one of those movies with I can't remember the guy's name. But it sounds like a good movie, the Doomsday Book. Someone's stolen the presidential Doomsday Book. One of those National Treasure movies with Nick Cage. No one remembers Megaforce. I am in shock. No one remembers Megaforce. I am in shock. So about an hour break. We'll be back soon. I'll take some more calls. I actually own that movie, Megaforce. Wow, that's a forgotten movie. Oh, okay. Blue Crow remembers. Okay. I love that movie. It's one of my favorite movies. It's not Bruce Boxleitner. It's, not Bruce Boxleitner. It's, let me see. It's the other Bruce. It's Barry Bostwick. Barry Bostwick, not Bruce Boxleitner. Barry Bostwick. He's the head of Megaforce. And Hal Needham, it was Burt Reynolds' stuntman friend that wrote and directed it. Yeah, Barry Bostwick. All right, we're back after this. 36 seconds. Barry Bostwick. Yep. I love that movie. I'm not recommending you watch it because, you know, not the greatest movie ever made, but...
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 46.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. How you doing? This is Ronnie JW from West Palm Beach.
Hey, what's up?
I will see you Sunday. I'll plan to be there, first of all.
Great.
Those idiots that are speaking that stuff, the Jen Psaki and that gentleman, let me tell you something. What they're doing is trying to rally people now to get on their side because they know what they have done to my president is definitely going to come back to them.
Yeah.
They are trying to get in position now to show the people like, oh, well, see, we told y'all he was good. No, you guys did this. Y'all opened up Pandora's box, and now you want it to close for you. So when the attacks come on you, the very thing you did to him, his family, and others, it's supposed to come back to you. It's called the yin.
Well, so you think that Jen Psaki she has valid concerns that Trump will use the Doomsday Book?
Oh no, Biden's already using the Doomsday Book.
Yep.
I'm not saying that.
That's right.
China is infiltrating our internet system and other things as well. So, I mean, what they are trying to do is get people to believe that they are innocent and he will be wrong. But no, like I said, they open up Pandora's box. They need to be prepared because they have dished it out and now it's got to come back to them.
All right. Well, good. I hope to see you at Wings Plus Sunday at 2.
You take care. Have a great day.
All right. And all right, Steve's joining. Hey, Steve. Now, you got to unplug and plug back in your mic, Steve, because it's the cable's loose. I hear a lot of staticky stuff there. So no. I'm hearing some static. You got to do a reset, and let me bring you on in a few minutes, okay? Because got to reset your system there. A little staticky. Probably just unplugging and plugging back the mic will probably do it, but I can't swear to that. But send me a text when you got it done. Okay, now while we're waiting for Steve to get his mic fixed, I want to share this with you. You know, this Mayor Wu, the Asian liberal racist mayor of Boston, she's in a lot of trouble. You know, this Christmas party she had where whites weren't allowed is against the law. It's a violation of all the civil rights legislation. You know, when we ended segregation legislatively, it didn't say that minorities can segregate. You know what I'm saying? It didn't give. It ended all segregation. Okay, it doesn't mean that blacks, Asians, and Hispanics can segregate white people. And if you don't know what happened, I'll just give a capsulized view, and there's an update on this, which I'm going to play the audio for now. I have to give the background. The Asian lady mayor of Boston, her assistant sent out an invite list to city council members in Boston, inviting them to the Electeds of Color holiday party. She mistakenly sent it out to all city councilors. They were not all invited. The white ones were not. And her assistant immediately, her assistant who's black, by the way, sent a follow-up email apologizing to the white people, but no honkies are allowed at the Electeds of Color holiday party. Well, that's crazy. That tells you how sick they are, that they don't even realize that it's racist, illegal, wrong, immoral, etc., etc. So the liberal news, the local news in Boston, WCVB TV did a story on this, and she's responded. Let me share this with you. Oh, hold on. I got to get my mic fixed, too. All right, let me rewind it. Here we go.
Boston's Mayor Michelle Wu admits that a mistake was made in an invitation to a holiday party. Members of the Boston City Council received an email invitation to what's called a gathering of electeds of color. Not all members of the council fit that description.
I think we've had individual conversations with everyone.
Okay, now this is the mayor, Mayor Wu.
I think we've had individual conversations with everyone so people understand that it was truly just an honest mistake that went out in typing the email field.
Okay, see what she just said here? She's not saying it was a mistake to have a racially segregated event. She's saying it was a mistake that you found out that we were having an illegal racially segregated event.
I think we've had individual conversations with everyone so people understand that it was truly just an honest mistake that went out in typing the email field, and I look forward to celebrating with everyone at the holiday parties.
That's not white, okay? I look forward to celebrating with everyone, but no honkies allowed.
Look forward to celebrating with everyone at the holiday parties that we will have besides this one as well. So.
Oh, okay. We're going to have other parties where you honkies are allowed to come to, but you can't come to this one.
And I look forward to celebrating with everyone at the holiday parties that we will have besides this one as well. So it is my intention that we can, again, be a city that lives our values and create space for all kinds of communities to come together.
The mayor apologizing for any confusion that the original email created.
See, again, in this liberal newscaster on the local Boston station, the mayor's apologizing that she mistakenly invited white people who are not allowed because it's racially segregated. But you're white, you can't come. Now, what if the white city councilors announce a non-Asian holiday party? No Asians allowed. Do you think Mayor would be okay? Now, she might be okay with it this week to try to save face, but in general, I think she would not be. She's in a lot of trouble for this. I know you may not think so, but she is, because what she did is against federal law. I'm sure it's against Massachusetts law, too. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Lisa from Pompano.
Hey, Lisa.
Oh, I just want to let you know, I'm originally from Boston, and what happened, that's so disgusting, but did you know that her husband's a white person?
Yes. A white man, yes.
Yes, a white man, and...
That doesn't mean... that doesn't mean she's not racist.
Yeah, I don't know. Why did she... The whole thing's wrong, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, no. It is a legend that President Thomas Jefferson fathered children with a black woman, yet he owned slaves. So because he had sex with a black woman, does that mean that Thomas Jefferson was not a racist, or what?
No, I wouldn't say.
Exactly.
Right. But why did she? I don't know. I don't know. She's gonna. None of it makes sense. It's not right in my.
Nope. There's this. Even the dog agrees. All right. Appreciate the call. I know it's confusing, isn't it? It's very confusing. All right. Our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call, no matter where you are listening to us. And again, it is open phones. You're not limited to the topics that we are talking about. Okay, so Steve's computer he connects us with has decided that it wants to update Windows as he rebooted it just now. Don't you hate that? I had that happen to me the other day. I got a Mac, but I went to do a reboot and it wanted to update, and it wouldn't let me continue without updating, and it was at a crucial time, I must tell you. All right, listen, we'll take our last break of the second hour and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane.
All right, and it's time to check in with Attorney Barry Siegel from the Siegel Law Group. Attorney Barry Siegel, good morning.
Good morning. How are you today?
Great. What do you have for us this morning?
Well, we do have the workshop coming up on Tuesday, December 19th, 10 a.m. at our office. It is the last workshop we're doing for 2023. And we're coming up on New Year's, and we're all going to be hearing about the New Year's resolutions, and we're going to make our list, and, maybe some of the things we'll actually accomplish, and some of the things will be things that we will stop pursuing within a week or two of the new year. But how many of us had on our New Year's resolution list for 2023 to finally get our estate planning done or to get it updated, and you still haven't done it? And then what are we going to do? Put it on our New Year's resolution list for 2024 and then have the same cycle happen again where we'll get around to it, and the next thing you know, it's New Year's 2025 coming up. So this is really the last opportunity here. If you wanted to
William,
get this done this year,
probably
or
William,
get it started this year, I would urge you to either call and schedule an appointment for your free consultation, or call our office and schedule and get your seat or your seats for you and your spouse or family member to come to our workshop. And by coming to our workshop, you'll get some education, you'll learn some things that may help you make some good decisions for you and your family. And also, remember, if you come to the workshop and you schedule your appointment at the workshop, you're also going to get a discount certificate. You're going to be able to save $500 or even more, depending on situation. And so by coming, you could save money and also get started on your estate planning and get the education that you need to make some good decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, these New Year's resolution like weight loss and exercise, that's a lot of effort, but it's really not a lot of effort for clients because Attorney Barry Siegel, you and your staff at the Siegel Law Group handle all the heavy lifting when people come in to update their documents, right?
The process, of course, we need to get information so we can learn about you, your family, your estate, your goals, and then we can get into more specific conversations and make some recommendations. Of course, once the decisions are made of what type of planning we want to do, we ask all the right questions, information, we draft everything, we put it all together, we review it with you. And then, of course, once everything is reviewed, signed, executed, notarized, witnessed, then, of course, we also guide you through the funding process of getting your assets into the trust, review a process with you. We put together all the paperwork you need. So we make it as easy as possible to get.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, listen, give the Siegel Law Group a call. When you do, make sure you tell them you heard Attorney Barry Siegel here on the Steve Kane Show, and you can take advantage of that no-charge consultation. When you call, you can also ask them about their final workshop of the year as well. The number is toll-free, 855-FLA-3782. 855-FLA-3782, and online, SiegelLawGroup.com. All right, Attorney Barry Siegel, we'll talk on Monday. Okay, all right, back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now.
All right, let's try Steve again. If not, we'll have to wait till after the top. All right, now you're fine. Now you're fine. Well, you're cool now. Okay, good. Oh, man. So, lots of things have been happening. Did you have somewhere you wanted to go? Because I've got some stuff I haven't got to.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. You were going to what?
No.
Okay, all right. If you're on hold, hang in there. I wanted to share this story, and then I have a question that I want to ask you in the audience about. They're talking about a Utah Karen, and let me tell you this. Karen that's a racial slur, Karen, all right? I know it didn't start that way, but it is now. It's a racial slur used for white women that some people may not like. So I think only white people should be able to use the word Karen in these contexts. Everyone who's non-white, you are welcome to say the K word. But Karen, it's a racial slur. Yeah. Okay, but listen to this. A Utah Karen was caught on video tormenting her interracial neighbors with racial slurs. Her neighbors have filed a civil lawsuit against her. They say she repeatedly berated them with racial slurs shortly after they moved in 2019. So this has been going on for a long time. And I saw some videos. She drives by and yells out racial slurs out the car window as she's driving by their house. She's been doing it for 3 or 4 years. Of course, that's a terrible, disgusting, ugly thing. But this is my question, Steve. She's facing a civil rights lawsuit. She could even be arrested. Why is she in legal trouble, but it's okay to call for the genocide of Jews to the face of Jews as they're walking through life here at Harvard, Yale, or the streets of America? What's the difference between this and calling for the genocide against? It seems like it's similar, doesn't it?
The same but different.
Different groups of people.
Well, yeah, but that's the similarity. The difference, Karen phrase is newer. It hasn't been.
Oh, well, I know. No. The woman, no, not the Karen word. The woman, she drives by she's white, okay? This white woman drives by her black neighbors on her street, rolls down her window, and starts yelling the N-word and other racial slurs at them every day. They've called the police on her, and she's facing civil rights charges and a civil rights lawsuit for using racial slurs, using the N-word at the neighbors. And that's a terrible thing that I do not endorse doing, believe me.
It has been around longer, and it is accepted more as culturally, it's accepted more as a...
Well, genocide, you know what?
Karen is new girl.
Okay. All right. Okay, we're not going to agree. Okay, let's take no. We'll take some calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Steve and I aren't going to agree on that. Hey, Richie.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning,
Good morning,
Brian.
Rich. How are you today?
Good. You know, Brian's bringing up this race thing here, and so I'm going to throw something out at people, and they're going to call me a racist at the end of this, a white supremacist, whatever they want to say.
Yes.
Okay. In Chicago, is there a high murder rate in Chicago?
Yeah.
Who's the mayor? Is what race is the mayor?
Human.
Okay. In New York City, has crime gone out of the roof, and what race is the mayor?
African American. Yes.
Okay. Now, I want people to, at the end of the show, Google South Africa, because my cousin flies there. He's a pilot for Delta Airlines, and it's one of the most unsafe places in the world. Under apartheid, what was the difference in the murder rate in South Africa? Under white rule in South Africa, which I'm bringing it to, there's a point thing here. Under white rule in South Africa, the murder rate right now has gone up 90%. It's one of the most unsafe places in Africa. When it was white rule, it was one of the safest places. And so the point...
Well, excuse me. Unless you were black, South African, then it wasn't so safe.
The murder rate, I'm talking about the crime statistics, and not unless you're black. The crime under white rule, under white...
I don't agree with you on that, because I'll tell you why. Yeah, I know, but Fidel Castro's Cuba has statistics that show that they're the #1 healthcare system in the world, and they have the best education system. Back in the days of apartheid, when the white minority was running South Africa, they didn't count statistics of crimes against black people probably as accurate as they would now, because they didn't care. So I don't trust the South African statistics. I would not go to South Africa.
You know the old saying, figures don't lie, but liars can figure.
Correct.
Oh, okay, let's throw this at you. The United States, I'm bringing in our country right here. Under this new open border policy and in other words, the white man in this country has been under attack for at least the last 20 years. All you hear is that there was white colonists founded this country. Now, the murder rate in the United States, since we got more people of color in the United States right now than ever, has the murder rate in the United States gotten out of control? Because every time I hear about mass shooting, they blame the white guy.
Crime, hold on. Crime is out of control. Crime is out of control. We understand that. And it didn't get there over in one night. It didn't get there in one night. It got there over a period of time. It evolved. I gauge everything because, again, I watch a lot of talk shows. Some of them emanate from New York. So I view everything from my hometown, New York City, and I have watched it fall apart piece by piece. All right? And
well, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
We're pretty close with New York City. With Harlem, it was a black section.
Was.
I drive a cab in Harlem. I used to drive a cab in Harlem. I wouldn't drive a cab today.
Well, that's the white part of town now, Steve.
You can walk down the street in Harlem.
Really? You think? I bet Harlem's safer. Bill Clinton, he made it white. Remember we moved? Rich, I don't think you're going to get much agreement from us on everything you're saying, but I will agree with you. What you're trying to say is places that are run by blacks have high crime rates and murder rates.
I'm trying to say that I believe the corruption in black government compared to white government is a big difference in this world. You just have to look at Europe, look at England, look at all of.
Well, okay, let me tell you. Okay, I don't know about England or South Africa, but we could, if you talk about crime in majority minority cities, where you're talking about Chicago or New York, there's among liberals in general. Okay, and this goes back. Liberals have always sided with the Palestinians, for example, against Israel. And in this country, they've always been soft on crime. I don't understand this. This is part of the mental disease that is liberalism. But liberals believe that black criminals in these cities, that they're that way because of historical systemic racism in America, and they don't view them as criminals, and they view the criminals as victims, and that's why they allow this crime to go on. Yeah.
Reparations when you go into a major department store and start stealing all the clothes. It's reparations.
All right. Hey, Rich, I appreciate the call. Yeah, okay. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? It's open phones, but, you know. Okay. Hey, Mike.
Yeah. How you doing, guys?
Good.
So listen, this here N-word, you know, if you listen to black rap music, they use it all the time.
Well, that's okay. It's like
in the black culture, it's a term of endearment.
Yeah, it's like Karen. It's you know. Oh my God.
You're absolutely correct. A lot of people don't understand that, though. You know, it's like, oh, you did that. You said that. You know, you're no good. I mean, let's put you in jail. Wait a minute.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if anybody is going to jail for that, but Richie has turned the show into something else. Good morning, which is what he loves to do best. You're on the air. What's your name? Well, I'm trying, but, you know. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Patrick calling from Broward.
Hey, Patrick.
How are you?
Hey. Good. I wanted to share my thoughts on the racially segregated holiday party, where
yes,
basically, like you said, she didn't apologize for having a racially segregated holiday party, this mayor. She apologized for bungling the segregation.
Yeah.
So I'd like to explain it in 5 simple words. The average liberal has zero self-awareness. And I'd like to
bring up there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah, and you know she does. Mayor Wu's husband is white, but I bet you he's not a very masculine man.
Yeah, I'd like to bring up 2 other examples as well. One was very high profile. When our current president of the United States called a Georgia voting law that actually expanded voting opportunities.
Yes. See, okay. It's not about listen, here's the thing with Democrats, okay? When there's it doesn't have to be just that. Anytime Democrats are up against opposition and they don't have an argument against it, they call it racist. They do this in debate. They do this, you know, they don't do it with me and Steve too much because Steve and I have interracial families with black kids. But if other people like us that are conservative, that are MAGA, that debate issues, liberals will repeatedly call them racist. They still do sometimes, but most people have wised up as to how stupid that is because of our families. And that's just that they call anything they can't oppose racist because that gravitates liberals towards their cause, and it also neuters most conservatives that they throw that to. But listen, we're up against our break. I appreciate your call. If you're on hold, stand by, and don't forget Sunday at 2. Come meet Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, at Wings Plus, the Sample Road location, about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. We'll be there at 2. You're all invited. By the way, rain or shine, it's the weather doesn't look too hot today. It's going to rain, and there's a lot of rain expected over the weekend. We're still going to be there, and you are too. And by the way, we're going to be inside, so we don't have to worry about the rain. All right, 1 hour to go. We'll be right back.
WWNN Pompano Beach, WIRK HD3 Indiantown. Programming paid for by Vic Canales Media Group. Broadcasting from the Robe Studio. Injured recently? Call the Robes Law Group, where winning is a habit. 561-570-5700. 561-570-5700. Robes, winning for you and our community. Your home for the Steve Kane Show. From the Palm Beach Patio Furniture Weather Center, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created, here's the Oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. Hope your day is off to an awesome start. We have gusting winds up to 40 miles an hour already. and heavy, strong downpours tomorrow and a chance of storms. I'm WPBS 25 First Warning meteorologist Sandra Shaw.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
That whole argument with the airlines about overweight people.
Yeah.
Two seats.
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah, you see the Southwest Airlines are giving complimentary seats for
Yeah.
overweight people now?
Yes, I saw that. I wonder if you can just claim that you're overweight to get it.
That's what I'm saying.
How do they know?
Because, like, what about moms and their kids, you know? Like, can they claim they're overweight and then let their kids sit there instead of eating fried food? The comments I love, because, like, they said the same thing. They're like, can I get the class?
Exactly.
Or the weight of the bags, too.
Exactly.
Judy Collins is coming to the Broward Center January 16th. Judy has inspired audiences with her luminescent presence and her iconic 55-album body of work. Don't miss a night with Judy Collins at the Broward Center. Get tickets now at browardcenter.org.
Alexa, what's the longest running radio show in the state of Florida?
The Steve Kane Show, which has been on the air since 1977, is the longest running radio show in Florida.
Weekday mornings, right here on True Oldies. Any lab work, don't waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office for one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor can order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs. There's lots of any lab test nows around, but these are the only two advertising on our radio station. So don't use the rest. Only go to any lab test now in Boca and any lab test now in Coral Springs. And make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio. Here's your True Oldies ABC News Update.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is talking about his face-to-face with Israel's Netanyahu and the next steps in its war on Hamas and Gaza.
There will be a transition to another phase of this war, one that is focused in more precise ways on targeting the leadership and on intelligence-driven operations that continues to deal with the ongoing threat that Hamas poses.
He said Israel must come to the realization that a two-state solution is imperative. U.S. officials say a projectile fired from within rebel control of Yemen hit the Al Jazra, a container ship in the Red Sea, setting it ablaze. No one hurt, but it further escalates a campaign by Iranian-backed rebels in a series of missile assaults in recent days. A federal jury in Washington, D.C. resumes deliberations today in the penalty phase of the lawsuit against Rudy Giuliani brought by two Georgia poll workers he falsely accused of voter fraud. This is ABC News.
This year, Staples wants everyone to have a happy Holla deal. That's right, Holla deals. Staples Holla deals are amazing savings on hot holiday tech. Great prices on laptops, game systems, earbuds, and more.
Yeah, so
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
all right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve, you back with us? All right, our number 1-888-GO-CANE-1. Let's take another call or two and bring up some stuff. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
like you did 2 weeks ago, man. How you doing, Steve?
Every call ends in a hang-up.
Well, I'm glad Brian's talking about the Bible.
The Bible?
Yeah, you said the Bible blanket, right? You said the Bible blanket, right?
Oh, at My Pillow, they have Bible story throw blankets. Oh, I said Bible. Okay, all right. So we're talking about the Bible now because I talked about the Bible throw blankets?
Well, real quickly, are you familiar with Revelations 2:9?
No.
Kathy, if you're listening, put it in the chat so everybody can see it. Because you're always angry when I call the Jews so-called Jews. In the Bible, Revelations 2:9 explains why I called them so-called Jews. You mentioned last week that the mainstream media was corrupt. Well, who do you think runs mainstream media but the Jews?
Really?
Hollywood. Hollywood is corrupt.
Really?
Hollywood in the music industry. The so-called the Zionists. I'm not talking about the rest.
Do you have some names? Who's what the Jewish media control? Who would that be? For example, there's a new media outlet that everyone is starting to talk about. They're just learning about it today. Most people. That's going to be and excuse me. You said the media is run by Jews. Now he wants to. Okay, because Tucker Carlson just launched a new media venture, and he's not a Jew.
I'm talking about the media that's controlled. Also Hollywood. Okay.
Hold on one second. Let me ask you a question. Is there such a thing as Jewish rap?
No. Listen. Let's be clear, because you guys are obfuscating.
I'm just asking you. I find what you say interesting. So I would like you to give me an example of some Jewish rap. I love. Maybe it's a song I know.
Okay, I'm going to tell you right now. Harvey Weinstein.
You're not going to tell me Eminem is Jew.
If Jews have so much, you mentioned Harvey Weinstein. Come on. If Jews have so much power, why is Harvey Weinstein in prison for life?
I'll tell you this. The Jews, why do you think everybody kisses the Jew dad?
Oh my goodness. This is just one of those days. Remember last open phone? No. That no. I already let him go, Steve. I can't. I let him go before you said that. Well, give him one more shot. Yeah, the swear. This is this is the thing. All right, and I'll tell you guys this. I let him go for two reasons. One was the swearing, but the other one was the hardcore anti-Semitism. That's not something I would normally we would usually have a discussion. But with the state of the world today, to try to have a serious discussion with somebody like that, Steve, we got a problem in this country. And, this anti-Semitism that's going on in this country is not a joke. We've talked about it a lot in the last 2 months since the attacks on Israel. The way I described it to you yesterday, Steve, is no, we're dealing with it, but I don't think we should be giving a platform to Nazis, and this.
Caller throws at me, I can handle.
We can handle it, but is it a? Yeah, but maybe I don't want to today. I don't know, but I'll give out the number. See,
Calls back, give him one more chance. But understand that there are lines and limits because we're on the radio, and give him a. And then if he does it again, then you can.
I'm just not happy with the direction of the show. I thought we had. This is one of those things. Here's the thing. The other 4 days of the week, we come up with the topics. We decide what's going to be discussed, and there's And remember what Rush used to say on Fridays. He says on Fridays it's open phones, where we turn the show over to rank amateurs. Okay. And sometimes on open phones on Fridays, Open Mega Mike Friday, it's some of the most spectacular calls and most excitement of the whole week. And then other times you get callers that don't have any sense and say just incredibly stupid and ridiculous things. And this has been one of those mornings.
Things are some of the best.
No, we'll have to continue that off the air. But I mean, but that last, he didn't talk like that guy. No, he did not talk like that guy to Tibet.
He was a little sharper than that guy, but he had a pretty foul mouth.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we'll talk off the air because I've got but and continue it off the air. Our number is 1-888-GO-KANE-1. You're on the air. Yeah. What's your name? Or no, Steve. The day after tomorrow, Sunday. You can. They're open on Saturday, but you and I are going to be there on Sunday. You're on the air. What's your name? Yeah. Hey, David.
David, what's up?
Yeah. How are you feeling, Steve? I hope you're better.
Good, excellent.
Okay. Well, Brian, the reason I called was when this gets to the Supreme Court for Donald Trump, and if they do say he's got presidential immunity, wouldn't that drop all the state charges that have to do with the election integrity?
It's a lot more. It's a very complex discussion. There are lots of precedents on this, and it's going to be argued in front of the Supreme Court, obviously, and they're going to decide. It's their interpretation of what the Constitution.
This Supreme Court case, my understanding is it's very specific to the J6 case, not the other ones, and it may not. And the so yeah, I mean the local cases could be appealed federally and make their way to the Supreme Court, sure, but we're not there yet. But this is the thing, President Ford pardoned Nixon, and yeah.
The issue at hand here has to do with whether a president can be tried for something that occurred while he was president.
Yes.
After the presidency is over. Okay? And the thing that's so remarkably clear to me, and again, I don't have any legal credentials, but it seems to me that the whole purpose of this moving up the date is just such a vivid example of going after the election.
But the poll, yeah. But it's significant, Steve, that Jack Smith is the one that took this to the Supreme Court, and Judge Junkin is the one who paused the trial. Not the so I think they're looking for an out. I think Jack Smith wants the Supreme Court to not allow him to continue his persecution or prosecution, whatever he calls it, of Trump. I think he's trying to end it.
That would be a win for Trump.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I think this is obvious.
All right. Take care. Appreciate the call. Listen, we're going to take our first break of the hour. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Brian Craig here. I've suffered with massive pain in my knee for years, but not anymore. It's all gone, thanks to Dr. Appleton and his laser away pain system. I'm in studio right now with Dr. Appleton. Dr. Appleton, how'd you do it?
My treatment is simple and no side effects. I have robotic lasers that have a wonderful effect on joint pain. These are all FDA approved.
Now you don't just
Steve Kane Show.
tell the listeners what other areas you can help.
Hello.
Any joint I can do. Shoulder pain,
Mhm.
pain, sciatica, stenosis, arthritis, tendonitis, bursitis, from the foot all the way up to the neck.
Dr. Appleton is a chiropractic physician, and with the laser away pain system, there's no injections, no surgery, and no drugs. He's open 6 days a week, and same-day appointments are available. Call right now for your free consultation. 954-973-0710. 954.
Oh, my goodness.
973-0710. Make sure to tell Dr. Appleton you heard about him on the radio.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Jersey Mike from West Palm Beach.
Hey, Mike.
Let me say something. I went to Jupiter Joe's. He spent an hour and 20 minutes with me in front of his desk going over all of my assets and advising me. And
retirement know-it-all. 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. Online, JupiterJoe.com.
Tis the season for savings with Margaritaville at Sea. Now, for a limited time, Margaritaville at Sea is offering up to 60% off all cruises. Cruise certificates and their ultimate paradise pass for limitless trips to Grand Bahama in 2024.
Steve Kane Show. Hello? Yeah, hold on.
$79 per person, or give the ultimate gift of the season, Bahamas cruise certificates for 2, and earn your way onto the nice list. Claim your perfect slice of paradise today at MargaritavilleAtSea.com.
Brian Craig here with a question for seniors and those who care about them. How would you like to have instant access to a healthcare advocate at the touch of a button? Would that make life easier for you? You can with I Will Advocates. I Will Advocates will help you set up doctor's appointments, help with your pharmacy, even deal with your pharmacist to make sure that you have your prescriptions. They'll help you find a doctor, including a specialist. If you've been billed improperly by a doctor's office or a hospital, they can help you with that too. They'll even be your advocate when you're in the hospital to make sure you get the care you need and the care you deserve. And that's just the beginning of what they do. I Will Advocates takes care of all Steve Kane's healthcare issues too, and they can do the same for you. I Will Advocate clients are family, and they go to bat for their family when you need them the most. Call Debbie at I Will Advocates right now. Toll free 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326. 1-877-275-2326.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. In the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Harrison Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at FLA.
All right, we are back. How would you like to turn your money into guaranteed income for life? You can do just that with the help of Jupiter Joe Thomas. You know, you want to call him up. He's offering free phone consultations. No matter where you're located, by the way, you can take advantage of the free phone consultation with Joe Thomas. I'm going to give you his number in a minute, and if you miss the number, you can just go to his website, JupiterJoe.com, and get the number there. He's offering free phone consultations and free copies of his book, The Retirement Know-It-All. Take advantage of this. You know, annuities, I learned a lot about annuities from Joe Thomas. I heard of them but didn't understand them. And when you invest your money in an annuity, you're not risking it. You're not going to lose money. Your money is not at risk, and you're going to have guaranteed income. That's a good thing. It's like having a pension. It's like having a little supplemental income to your Social Security or whatever else you have. So give him a call, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And again, if you missed that number, go to his website, JupiterJoe.com. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, Mike. You back with us, Steve? Gotcha. Okay.
Kind of related, but not related, is at big, high levels, given everything we as a nation are going through right now, this could almost have been avoided if the left had just worked with President Trump. They never gave him a chance. From the very beginning, they were out to get him. And for 4 years, they lied.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And yeah,
won't be the same.
And you know what? They're never gonna leave him alone for the rest of his life. The Democrats, I'm quoting Rush a lot today, Steve, but Rush used to say, like on every show, all Democrats care about is power. Okay, power and money, but the money comes with the power. And Donald Trump, he doesn't have the Democrats against him. He's got both parties, which other presidents don't have. And the reason that that's right. And the reason they're both after him is because they lost power too. You got a guy who can't, most presidents come from one of two types of places. They either inherit it through family legacy, like George W. Bush, okay? Even H.W.'s dad, was in government and got it through that way. or they're recruited at a young age and groomed their entire life, like Bill Clinton and Barack Obama. Okay, Donald, and by doing that, they're controlled. Like what you're seeing with Nikki Haley right now is a textbook example. They took a woman who was broke. They made her a millionaire 8 times over. They got her running for president, and she knows if she wins, she'll be worth $80 million, right? Not 8. So Donald Trump can't be bought. They can't control him, and so they've lost power. And everything about Donald Trump and everything they do against him is because the establishment, Washington insiders that have controlled this country for over 200 years, lost power. He's the first president that was not from one of the 2 political establishments ever. And that's why they'll always be after him.
To me, it illustrated that there's a whole, everything that I've been taught about our system of government.
Lies. Those are lies. Yes.
I'd always been taught, hey, when the other guy wins, you work with him. You cooperate. Maybe you can find middle ground. Maybe you can compromise. There was none of that here.
See, what happened was, before Donald Trump, we were all living in the Matrix. The world it was fake. And he's Morpheus. I want to play something to you. Let me pull something up. I want to play something to you. Let me see if I've got this. Paul Ryan. This is Paul Ryan 2 days ago. He gave an interview and he's talking about President Trump. This is Paul Ryan 2 days ago, okay? Who's like at the top of the Republican establishment.
He's not a conservative. He's an authoritarian narcissist. So I think they basically called him out for that. He's a populist authoritarian narcissist. So historically speaking, all of his tendencies are, basically where narcissism takes him, which is whatever makes him popular, makes him feel good at any given moment. And he doesn't think in classical liberal conservative terms. He thinks in an authoritarian way, and he's been able to get a big chunk of the Republican base to follow him because he's the culture warrior. And so I think Adam and Liz stepped out of the flow and called it out and paid for it.
Okay, yeah, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. So that Liz, so you hear what he said about Donald Trump. Those are hate. That's hate, because and his mass support, he just excuses as he's Hitler.
It's hate, but it's more than hate. It's hate plus a tremendous shot of fear.
Yes.
The 2 things mixed, because they understand that Trump's going to be much more powerful this time when he comes in, and they're right about that.
Yeah.
He knows who all the creeps are now. And you bet your butt that they're going to be fired.
Well, or go to jail.
Right.
Oh, we just...
Be some bills that are going to come. You can't let them get away with this. This cannot be tolerated, okay? It cannot, because it will just keep happening, and I can't imagine it getting any worse, but trust me, it will if you allow this behavior to go unchecked. So still, to this day, I can't. The funding of a lie.
Well, the dossier, okay, the dossier, hold on. The dossier, see, this is a textbook example, okay? The Russian dossier, I'll tell people, when we bring this up, I like to tell people what it says because it's so absurd. The dossier says that when President Trump visited Moscow for the Miss Universe pageant, he stayed in the same hotel room as Barack Obama when he was president. He hired 2 Russian prostitutes to urinate and have sex with each other while he watched on the bed, urinate on the bed and have sex with it while he watched and pleasured himself watching the Russian hookers do this on the bed Obama slept in as disrespect to Obama, and Putin has video and audio of this as blackmail material. That's the dossier. That's what it says. So when Trump was president-elect, he was holding court at Trump Tower. Remember, everybody had to go through the Trump Tower lobby. Comey went to Trump Tower, went up to President-elect Trump. By the way, remember who gave the dossier to the FBI? Do you remember who? Christopher Steele gave it to John McCain in a park in D.C., okay? And John McCain gave it to the FBI. So he goes there, he drops it on President-elect Trump's desk and says, we can investigate this or it can go away. Wink, wink, play ball. He said, get the heck out of here. Okay? And that's what they normally do. They buy you, and if they can't buy you, they try to blackmail you. And they can't do that with Trump.
Here's my question. If that machine works,
yeah.
Who else can that to?
Everybody. There's everybody. And everybody. Because one, he's too rich to buy, and two, surprisingly, because his image as a playboy has been a marketing image. That you know what I mean? During the Studio 54 era, the 80s and everything else, he's a squeaky clean Marine. He's like a Sunday school guy, that whole image with the. So they couldn't get anything on him. Believe me, they tried and searched. They can't bribe or blackmail him, and they didn't take him serious enough to stop him from getting the nomination early enough in the first election, and he squeaked by them.
Well, it just goes to show this is what they'll do to any outsider, and it is to them it's
correct
and unacceptable that an outsider comes in. Guys, I have to keep going.
All right, appreciate the call. Great calls. We'll be right back. Yeah, it's like maybe the connection was lost and it rebooted.
I was thinking that. I was thinking maybe the weather messed with it a little bit, like made it a little flicker.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I saw it on my computer, and then I still saw your things were okay, so I was like,
yeah,
it's fine. But then I saw everything drop. I'm like, oh, it's not just
yeah. Yeah, well, it's fixed now.
Yeah.
Weather brought to you by Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Route 1 Seminole Plaza Shops, North Palm Beach. Palm Beach Patio Furniture. Voted in the best of the best patio store in Palm Beach County. PalmBeachPatioFurniture.com, where luxurious outdoor spaces are created.
And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. It's showtime at PBKC. Get your tickets now for upcoming events in the Paddock Restaurant, the area's incredible dinner show destination. Enjoy a fabulous 3-course dinner and holiday music with Chris McDonald's Memories of Elvis event Friday, December 15th. And check out comedians Jimmy Fallon December 16th and Sarge on January 12th. PBKC tickets and dining certificates make great holiday gifts. Go to pbkennelclub.com and happy holidays from PBKC.
Sloman's home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation is free. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and even you get a doorbell camera. Call now, 833-283-5050, and Sloman's will give you a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your smartphone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. And wait a minute, that's not all. Sloman's is going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. So
754-222-6642.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian. Steve is here. There's a, yeah.
Business, and we were talking about what's going to happen and what's the future of
Oh. Yeah.
And quite an interesting discussion because talk radio is about to just absolutely, I mean, we've been in a tremendous surge period of talk radio all this year, and it is going to start, right about this time, it's going to start to build and build and build, and there's going to be a renaissance in talk radio. Whether Donald Trump wins, which of course we all know he will, or if Donald Trump loses, it might even be, well, it would be worse if Donald Trump lost. But people a lot of time listening to talk, and we invite you to be among those that care about the Steve Kane Show.
That is correct.
For to serve it.
Okay, now, if you're on hold, stand by. There's a story I want to share. There's a story from last night that's in some conservative media, just a few, Epic Times and a couple, that may spread today. Biden staffers hold White House vigil calling for ceasefire by Israel. And they were out front of the White House. And I'm not saying, yeah, I'm not, and they're holding up a sign that says, President Biden, your staff demands a ceasefire. It's being headed up by a man who was at one time was a State Department official, Josh Paul. He resigned from the Biden regime over their support of Israel against Hamas. Yeah, so, I know, isn't that something? I don't want to be in a position of defending Joe Biden, okay, because he's a, I just dropped the phone receiver. He's a bad guy. But I'm looking at this photograph of the Biden staffers out in front of the White House protesting Biden. And I'm not so sure this is real. And let me tell you why. I'm looking at this. Except for the lead guy, the activist that left the State Department, every other Biden staffer is wearing a mask and a hat. You can't see who they are. And I'm not so sure these are Biden staffers. I did put this out on Twitter. If you guys who follow me on Twitter, Brian Craig Show on Twitter, it's in the Epic Times. And I think that it's highly likely these are Palestinian activists passing themselves off as White House staffers. In fact, not only are they all wearing masks and hats, some of them are wearing burqas. Some of them are wearing scarves like Arafat wore. You know, that big scarf with that pattern. I don't know what you call that. Arafat used to wear it, and a lot of I don't know. So I think this might be psych ops by terrorist supporters, Palestinian supporters, telling you and telling the press that they are Biden staffers. Now, maybe they are Biden White House staffers.
They could be Biden staffers who plan on staying after that.
I don't know.
For Biden winning.
It just seems.
This is ridiculous.
It seems really weird. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve.
Yeah, you're on.
Before I say what I called in for, Brian, I like the fact in the last 2 years you came around to thinking better of conspiracy theories, which is good. When I told you there was a bloodline between the Baracks and the Clintons and the Bushes, just go back to the funeral when Herbert Bush died.
Don't forget those manila envelopes that was passed around and Trump wasn't included. I called in because I think I'm going to kind of agree with the Democrats on this. I really think, besides being mental patients, that the Democrats really are stupid because
Yes.
This new doomsday thing that they're going to try to push.
The Doomsday Book.
I wonder how long it's going to go. Let's say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I wonder how long and how many channels that's going to go on. They're creating another narrative. Let's not go all the way back to, they're not spying on Trump and Trump Tower. The dossier. Charlottesville. Let's not forget the kids in the cages. This and that and the next.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
He's the Doomsday. He's talking about that story I had before you joined us. The Doomsday Book.
Some of that, I heard some of that, but what are you saying about it? You're saying it's not.
What I'm saying is I want the Democrats to hear me loud and clearly. It's your party that always brings these things to your attention, which is never true. It's always manufactured. And if they want to talk about doomsday, how about that balloon navigating our air?
Well, here's the thing, IB, with the Doomsday Book, okay? And if you missed that segment, it's a good one, and you can go back and listen later. But here's the thing about the Doomsday Book, okay? It's not the Doomsday Book that Jen Psaki is reading from. It's Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals. And I read Rules for Radicals when Obama was president because it was his manual, and everybody was talking about it. Rule 1 of Rules for Radicals is accuse your opponent of doing what you're doing. And throughout since Trump came down the escalator, every accusation against him has been what they're doing, okay? They're the ones with the Doomsday Book going after political enemies and opponents, yes.
So here's my point. We're on the same page, and that's what I want the Democrats to focus on. But everything that's been brought to you is always by your party.
Correct.
Stirring up the trouble and creating the chaos, and then they switch it around and say, look, it's ridiculous.
All right, take care, IB. Appreciate it. Now, don't forget, Sunday at 2, come meet Steve Kane and me at Wings Plus, the Sample Road location in Coral Springs.
Literally.
Okay.
Kick off. And in fact, I think it's the Dolphins' last game of
is it?
the season. I think so.
Okay.
The last game of the season for all the NFL, except for the playoffs.
Well, you can show up whenever you want, but the official kickoff of the Steve Kane Show event is at 2. And Wings Plus, the Sample Road location, is about a mile west of University Drive on the south side of Sample Road. If you're coming from the Palm Beaches, the Treasure Coast, or if you're coming from South Broward or Miami, take I-95 or the Turnpike to Sample Road and head west, a mile west about of University on the south side of the street. You can also take I-75, the Sawgrass Expressway, and exit at Sample Road, and then you head east. And Wings Plus is still a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road. We hope to see you there. It's going to be a great time.
Shine.
Absolutely. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Steve and Brian. It's JJ from Mass.
Hey.
Hey, JJ.
Good morning, Steve. I wanted to talk to you a little bit, Brian, and Steve, obviously, too, about this Vivek Soros connection I've been talking to. You obviously, you talked about him a little bit today, but we were chatting back before Thanksgiving. And I just want to try to understand, or not really understand, I want you to tell me the evidence. I think there's the scholarship you were talking about.
He got it was a couple things, okay? He got a scholarship from the Soros Foundation for his graduate school education, and he became a Soros Fellow. And then when he was started the presidential run, he hired someone to erase from his Wikipedia and online biography the Soros Fellow Foundation connections. He had that wiped clean, yes. Which, yeah.
Okay. So the first thing, the Soros Fellowship, is that the Paul, George, and Daisy?
I don't know. Is it Adolf Hitler, Jerry Hitler? Is it Sally Hitler? I mean, is it Eva Braun? Is it if you're connected to listen. To me,
digging a hole.
What are you talking about? What's the hole?
For a bigger fool. But when the Soros connection, it doesn't exist.
Why do you want? It does.
Listen, it's the Paul. You just gave me I'm going to rebut what you just said. The Paul and Daisy
I see.
Daisy, there is no.
It's his brother. It's Hitler's brother. Hitler's brother.
World War II then. You're trying to make the connection that doesn't exist. What happened with Paul and George at the end of World War II?
Oh, what, they had a falling out?
What happened to them?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, then you don't know much. All right, so okay.
Okay, now hold on. Tell me the greatness and goodness of the Soros family that I don't know about, because everybody seems to hate them, and you're telling me that they're good guys. And then we'll take a break, and then you can tell me about the wonderful Epstein Island resort.
You asked the question. What's the first question you
In
asked?
30 seconds, why we should admire and respect the Soros family. You've got 10 seconds.
George Soros now is a bad guy. George Soros back in his youth was not.
Really, he turned Jews over to the Nazis, and he's even talked about this. That's like saying, Hitler, he was a war hero in the First World War, and he wasn't too bad at the painting. We got to run for the break, and I'm sure we'll talk again. Gee whiz. We'll be right back.
The cold, hard truth.
All right, we are back. Oh, man, it's one of those wackadoodle days. Which line, Mike? Okay, it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, good morning. Good morning, Brian. Great. Well, how are we ending up the week with the metals?
Took a big jump yesterday, and coming back a little bit this morning. We'll see how that goes down for the week. But right now, gold down a little bit. Yesterday we saw a nice gain of another $9 after the previous day's big gain, and closing out yesterday at $2,036.20 after trading in a range from $2,023 all the way up to $2,047. Silver gained 37 cents after Wednesday's dollar gain, and closing out yesterday at $24.14. Platinum gained $22, closing out the day at $960, but palladium, the big gainer, up $121 at $1,098. Today we got gold down $5.20 right now at $2,031. We traded in a range so far this morning of $2,030 to $2,045. Silver down 19 cents at $23.95 the ounce. Platinum down $10 at $950, and palladium up $2 at $1,100 the ounce. So metals are stable and still looking like they want to go higher. The dollar's a little bit stronger this morning, so that's giving a little bit of a push down on the metals. But we'll see how long that lasts, because the trend is definitely.
Absolutely, and it's almost Christmas, if you can believe it. And can you tell people about what you have at your shop that make great Christmas gifts, and what kind of deals people can find?
Absolutely. We have everything as far as coins and the precious metals is concerned, and as little as 1 ounce silver, fractional ounces of gold, and many of them we can put into gift holders that make really beautiful gifts. As far as jewelry is concerned, as you know, we're wholesale only, so that Steve Kane listeners have the opportunity to just ask to see some of our jewelry, and we'll be happy to show it to them. The prices on that, of course, are all wholesale.
Yeah, and the jewelry is spectacular, guys. You will be able to purchase things that you probably, and some of you would not be able to afford elsewhere, and you'll get bargains you've never seen on beautiful, gorgeous jewelry at William Youngerman's. And I know when it gets like close to Christmas and you go to William Youngerman's, there's all those guys running in at the last minute. But go today. William Youngerman opens up at 10 a.m. You can stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building just east of US 1 Federal Highway. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com, or give him a call. Again, he opens up at 10 a.m. 1-800-327-5010. 1-800-327-5010. All right, William Youngerman, have a great weekend. We'll talk on Monday.
Okay, thank you.
Back after this.
We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now, Steve King.
All right, calls I want to say about. I want to talk about that last caller with Soros. Okay, I was short with him because we were up against the break, which we did take late, by the way. So he's welcome to call. Yeah, call back next week. But this is the thing. I don't know anything about Paul Soros. I just know that certain connections, they discount you from certain things. And to me, any connection to Soros is the equivalent of if someone, every once in a while, it's happening more now because of this OnlyFans thing. But over the years, you would hear a story that a teacher, she's been a teacher for 15 years, and then they find out 20 years before she was in a porno movie, she gets fired. And people are like, well, why did they fire her? Well, once it's out at school that the teacher did porn, one movie 20 years ago, she's lost credibility in the classroom. It's a disturbance to the class. It's a distraction that'll always be there. That's why they lose their job. Any connection to George Soros is the equivalent of doing porn. There's things you just can't go back on. You know, your friend offered me a starring role in a porno movie once. Remember that, Steve? One of your friends? Oh, my goodness. And absolutely. Randy West. Randy West. Yeah. I don't know. And this guy was one of the biggest porn producers of the 1980s. And Steve has good friends, you know, nice guys. Yeah, and I was much younger then. He offered me a starring role in one of his movies. He was filming, and I said no. And we were in the parking lot at the radio station. He said, "Come over to my car. I want to show you something." He opened up his trunk and he pulled out the 8x10s of all the girls that he was going to be filming. He said, "Pick two, Brian. Pick two. You can deliver pizzas to them. Pick two." And I didn't do it. Or he said anything else, any other fantasy you have. He said, just off the top of my head, you can deliver pizza to these two. But he said, pick two. And it was a thick book. You know, and I mean, if I would... I'm not kidding, Steve. Steve will back me up on that. You remember that, don't you? Yeah, he had I cannot tell you on the air the name of the series that he was filming at the time. You know, I'll tell everybody at Wings Plus who comes and asks. Okay? If you on Sunday, I can't say it on the air. It's not appropriate. But let me tell you, the most beautiful woman and women, other than of course my wife, you know, but the most beautiful, sexy women you've ever seen in your life were in that book. I mean, these were he was a senior top level producer, so these were the top of the adult film industry at the time. That was not an easy thing to say no to, Steve. Many mortal men could not. I don't know if you could have. I don't know. If I would have done that one thing back in the 90s, my entire life would be defined by that. Any call, yeah, right. Well, I was working for you then. That's how you got me. So you already did. But any time I took a moral position on any issue, there would be somebody on the line who would say, "Oh, Brian, you did that porno back in 19 whatever," and it'd be on, and it would be, you know, there's certain, and that may not have. If I would have done that, oh my goodness, it would have been awful. But my life, I'd be the same person today. I would hope that there are certain connections that if you do them and have them, you're done. Okay, that's just the way it is. I give you, that's an extreme example I'm giving, but Ramaswamy is one of the most. This town hall meeting he did, I played some of it earlier in the first hour. That town hall meeting he did on CNN in Iowa, night before last, was top tier political debate technique. He is one of the best presidential debaters that have existed since the era of modern television. And no. He's the best. And I mean that. You know, back in the days of Kennedy and stuff, things were more gentlemanly. You know what I mean? You didn't have to deal with these thug reporters. And Ramaswamy is as good as it gets. There's only one better, and his name is Donald Trump. And he's very good. And that's a skill set many people don't have. But he's got that Soros connection that we don't really know. And that's always going to follow him, like that. If I would have done that porno with your friend Randy West back in the 90s, would be following me everywhere. He was your friend. Was he not your friend? Well, not. Yeah, oh my goodness. All right. Anyway, let's take some calls. Yeah. Well, people are thinking. We're thinking. Yeah. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Are you guys ready for the apocalypse? Because Trump get in office, he starts the apocalypse.
Really? How's he going to do that?
Well, just like you were saying before, I was talking about this bomb thing of this thing. He's going to destroy this nation.
Oh.
And when he destroys this nation, he starts off the apocalypse.
Okay. I know, because he's the Antichrist, right? I know every call he's the Antichrist. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? He's like, you know what he is? He's like the bridge tender, Steve. But he's the Antichrist as him. You guys remember the bridge tender? You're on.
What does the Acropolis have to do with it?
Isn't that in Greece?
Acropolis story?
No, Steve. It was apocalypse. It was apocalypse, not Acropolis. It was apocalypse. The apocalypse. He's just not articulate.
Like, we got in a cab. Was I married to Lori at the time or something?
That's one of your other wives, I think, maybe.
Possibly a review. Anyway,
oh my goodness.
We wanted to go to the Acropolis to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got in a taxi, and there was obviously a Greek taxi driver, and we kept saying, we want to go to the Acropolis,
Yeah.
It's like he didn't understand what we're talking about. He was driving around in circles. And I said, just take us to the Acropolis.
Yeah.
So finally, in desperation, it was Lori. They said, no, the Acropolis. And after about 10 minutes of futilely trying to get through the language barrier, and she said, Acropolis. He says, oh, Acropolis. That's the...
Oh, okay. That's a great one, Steve. That's a great one. I love that one. That's a good... You guys like that? Oh, my goodness, Steve. That's don't tell that one again at Wings Plus, okay? Okay, or again in life. You're on... Oh, my goodness. You're on the air. Oh, my goodness. I guess you had to be, Steve. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Yes. Is somebody breathing? I hear somebody
Yeah,
breathing.
Ryan from Deerfield.
Go ahead.
How are you today?
I don't know, man.
So I just quick comment on Soros. I think this is an individual who's done more to hurt this country than anybody, with his funding of radicalized DAs throughout the United States that have been a great part of the destabilizations of our great cities, including the DAs that have been bringing these charges against Trump, say out of New York and that. He's did tremendous.
No, but the caller said when he was a young man, he was a good man and did good stuff in the war.
Yeah. No, I read about.
Before he joined the Nazi party.
Well, my understanding is that he, and I heard an interview with him many years ago where he was asked about this, that he turned Jews into the Nazis, and he said he didn't even have regret. He said, "Well, I was a kid and I did it. Yeah. I'd be like, you know what? I was scared. I was terrified. I was 14. I did, I thought I did something, and I have regret every day." But it wasn't like that.
I actually saw that interview, and he had no remorse whatsoever, Brian.
And I'll tell you, when that guy said that I'm digging a hole, I felt like it was a threat. That caller, when he said you're digging a hole, didn't it sound like that to you?
Well, Jay, he's such a good caller, JJ. I was very surprised.
I was caught off guard by that too. He's a very rational, reasonable guy.
No, very good. But
I'm not saying that. Listen. We don't. This is another thing. The biggest lesson from Obama is don't trust a smooth talker who just enters the world stage and you know nothing about. In their background, Donald Trump. Everyone's known Donald Trump their whole life, except Steve, because Steve's a lot older than us. But the rest of us have known Donald Trump our entire life. No, and he has a well-known history. Most of these, even George W. Bush is back, and Cheney, these guys, they have a background, they have a history. We've grown up with them. You got some guy we never heard of, and this is another concern I have. He couldn't afford graduate school, right? How old is he? He's the first millennial to run for president. He couldn't afford graduate school. Now he's a retired multi-billionaire who's running for president. There's Soros connection, retired by 40, a billionaire with a B. You know, there's a and we never heard of his background or him before. There's a lot of things that are a mystery, and after the Obama experience, I don't think we should be promoting people because they're great debaters that we know nothing about.
Well, one thing we learned, we have to be very, very cautious. But I get the feeling he's trying to promote himself as the Donald Trump in 28, the Great Order, and that. We've got to be very careful with that. He
is. Let me tell you, he's good. He's good, and I've seen him many times. He is good. And all right, take care. Appreciate the call. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Roger Pepperpot.
Yeah. All right. We'll talk to you. No. You're on. I'll tell you about that off the air. You're. There's a reason with that guy. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's Steve from Chicago.
Here you go, Steve. You got Steve from Chicago.
Go ahead, Steve. Go ahead.
I trust Kerry Lake and I trust MTG. I'm still waiting for her to be vice president, MTG. Anyway, also the Donald's guy. Give me a break. He should have been kicked out of Congress, you know.
Yep.
By the way, you wear nice shirts.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. My wife.
From listeners.
No, not this one. My wife bought me this one. My wife.
Nobody sends me any Trump T-shirts and hoodies, but they send them all to Brian.
I'll bring you a hoodie today, Steve. Okay, I'll bring you two. All right, listen, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll be back Monday morning at 6 a.m., and if you're on hold, you'll be first in line. We're out of time. We'll see you Sunday at 2, Wings Plus, the Sample Road location in Coral Springs. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. Steve's been here. We'll see you Sunday, too.
USFS 104.3 HD3 Miramar, WIRK 103.1 HD3 Indiantown.
All right, guys. Hold on. All right, take care. I'll see you in a bit. Thanks for watching.